Okay, let's start by reading the problem description. Given a string S, find the first non-repeating character in it and return its index. If it does not exist, return -1. Example 1, we have an input of Leetcode. There are 5 unique characters in the string, but the output is 0 because L is the first unique character. Example 2, love Leetcode. The output is 2 because V is the first unique character. Example 3, there are no unique characters, so the output is -1. For our constraints, we can see that the length of the string will be greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to 10 to the 5th. And S consists of only lowercase English letters. To solve this problem, we're going to utilize a hash map and 2 for loops. The for loops will not be nested. This solution has a big O of n time complexity and constant space complexity. The general idea is we'll iterate over the string twice. The first time we iterate over the string, we'll add the characters to the hash map and assign their count as the value. The second time we iterate over the string, we'll check if the character has a value of 1. If it does, we'll return that character's index. Finally, if we make it through the second for loop without returning an index, that means we didn't have any unique characters and we'll return -1. Here we have example 1 with a string input of Leetcode. We'll begin by initializing a variable called hashmap with an empty object. The for loop will start at the 0 index and add the letter L as a key, with 1 as its value. Then it'll add the letter E to the hashmap with 1 as its value. The loop iterates and we have another letter E, so we'll add +1 to its existing value. Next we have T. T gets added with 1 as its value. The letter C gets added with 1 as its value. The letter O gets added with 1 as its value. The letter D gets added with 1 as its value. And finally, we have another E, so +1 gets added to its existing value. We exit the first for loop and immediately enter the second for loop, starting at the 0 index. We check if the letter L has a value of 1. It does, so we return the index of 0. Let's translate this to code. Okay, we'll start by initializing a variable called hashmap with an empty object as its value. Then we'll set up our for loop. We'll iterate through the characters of the string. And then we will attempt to add +1 to the existing character if it exists. If the character doesn't exist, then we're going to initialize it with 1. Next, we're going to set up our second for loop. We'll initialize the index with the value of 0. We'll check that the index is less than the length of our string. And then we will increment index by 1 once the code block is finished executing. Inside of our for loop, we'll store the current character. And then for our if condition, we will check our hash map for the current character to see if it has a value of 1. If it does, we're going to return the index. And then if we exit the for loop without returning the index, we're going to return -1 because that means we did not have a unique character. And that's our solution. Let's run this against the test cases. And we get the expected output. Let's copy and paste this into Leetcode. Okay, let's paste it in here. Hit submit. And we get an accepted answer.